Hey guys, this is Tom from Rockland's News and Rockland Web Design. I've been in business about 19 years now, and first with the web development and then with Rockland's News. And every once in a while, I like to stay tuned into what's happening in the web development industry because, I myself did web development before we hired a great team. Now, the thing to understand about a particular issue, such as accessibility, is the experts in the industry over the course of time that know how to develop future systems. And I'm not even going to mention the name of the company that we use, but I don't want to make this into an endorsement of any company, but I do want to speak very briefly about a topic that I have been involved in over the last several years, is making sure that our client websites and of course other customers' websites are accessible so that people with hearing impairments or disabilities, visual impairments, anything that keeps them from viewing web properties is going to impede their ability to do so. Enter accessibility tools. And there have been a few that I've encountered that I find very reliable. And I've also spoken with various libraries in the area because we do business with them and we consult about what we feel, in our opinion, is correct. What I have found, and we've been working with libraries for literally about 15 of those 19 years over the course of time, including our local library here, is that the tools that are recommended, that we recommend, don't always get accepted. And that's okay. But I also noticed that sometimes the additional information about those tools is not being driven by the people that need the information, but other outside entities, other consultants, maybe lawyers or whatever have you, but a knowledge of why certain things work a certain way is important. And with Accessibility, as an example, there is a feature that allows you to install it on any website. And the thing to note is that it's not just about that tool. It also has to do with making sure that your website is accessible to begin with. In other words, it uses the proper web development framework. And the bottom line is that any accessibility tool that's out there, Accessibility, and there's like a dozen others, all right, they're only going to take a client a certain amount of the way. The other part of it is proper web development, and that has to do with very, very good, elegant code, lightweight frameworkers, no errors, obviously quality assurance testing. I mean, that's standard. And of course, making sure that the system doesn't get, well, let's say bloated up over the course of time. So, you need to do some maintenance and everything like that. But, making sure that the website is developed with the proper starting framework is very important as well. Now here, I'm going to endorse something that we've used for many years. We don't financially benefit from talking about this particular framework, but I'm going to mention it anyway because we do see over the last 10 years of using it, paying for it, by the way, we find it to be very reliable, not just for our clients, but also, for instance, for Rockland's News and other things that we develop. All right. And that is WordPress with the Genesis framework. The Genesis framework is an amazing system that acts as an intermediary between your WordPress system and the design and theme that's out there to make it look very pretty. So it's separating the presentation from the structure, and then separating the structure from the programming of the website, the content management system. And this has been a trend over the last, I'd say, 3 or 4 years, where the presentation layer of the website that looks completely different because of the other individual parts that are not attached to it. It's called headless content management systems. So the presentation layer is removed from those other 2 layers. I could feel myself getting a little bit nerdy about this, but if you want to learn more about this, go look up WordPress Genesis Framework. Do a Google search for it. And if you're a web developer or an individual that's looking to update their site, it doesn't have to be a library, but we definitely say that the Genesis framework is fantastic. And then you're able to layer on all of those other peripherals. And this is why I say the consultants are not getting it right on this one. Those accessibility tools are out there. by standard, they'll do well. Obviously, the rest of the system has to work, but that does not mean that the peripheral systems for accessibility should be discarded just because it may not operate. There's still the responsibility, obviously, of the content managers in order to make sure that things are tagged, properly noted. And I should also note, just for the case of efficiency, because it's not about us, you can easily train a staff member or an employee to be able to do this within a day's training. And then you're off and running, and bing, bang, boom. And remember, there's a lot of systems out there, AI-oriented, that can help you to do the work better. I could talk about this all day long. And you know why? Because we are the best web developers in Rockland County. And if anybody thinks differently, post a video and debate with me, because there's some things that I very much believe in because of the experiences that we have that will make this a great system for anybody that uses it. Accessibility tools, and also making sure that your website design is properly created from the get-go. Because if not, no matter what you layer on top of it, it's not going to work properly long term. This is Tom Ossa from Rockland News and Rockland Web Design. Stay tuned for some more episodes, and we appreciate you taking the time to listen to this. Take care for now.